Alrighty, hi everybody. Thanks for allowing me to guide you in this practice today. So in light of all that is happening right now, all the stuff that continues to happen, especially as we continue forward with trying to make positive change for not only the Black people in this country, but for all people. This is a practice that might be really useful to do now and to come back to. So this is going to be really of a more like fluid, flowing practice. And by moving in this way, it's going to help you to kind of move through any emotions that might be coming up, especially for those of you who might not be feeling a lot of emotion right now. Like, I have a tendency myself to repress, and that often backfires because then all these emotions come up at once and I don't know how to handle them or express them. So we'll get started. Go ahead, sit on your mat. Grab a couple blocks if you have them, or just a couple sturdy stacks of books. They're optional. May or may not need them. But sit in a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. And bring one hand to your heart and one hand right beneath your belly button. Rest your palms there. Close the windows of your eyes if that feels okay, if that feels safe. Take this moment to pause. I don't think I'm alone when I say that I've been spending a lot of time becoming informed and involved and spending time, educating myself, trying to understand what is happening and how people are feeling, especially those in the Black community. But it's also important to find a moment to step away from all of that, to rejuvenate, to recharge, to feel. No matter who you are, no matter what you look like, no matter the color of your skin, you deserve time to take a step back and to breathe. So if you can start to take some really big, deep breaths. Each inhale, fill up through the entirety of your torso. Feel that bottom hand beneath your belly button lift slightly as the torso expands. And then as you exhale, release all of the air out. You can even exhale with a sigh if that feels good. Keep breathing just like that. As I mentioned, we're going to be moving in a more fluid way today. And this fluidity is going to help to stir up emotions and to help them actually move through you. So a lot of times these emotions can become stagnant, can become stuck, hidden. And as you might know from personal experience, it doesn't always serve us. Definitely doesn't serve us to hide, repress, or stifle any emotions that might be occurring. And throughout this practice, feel free to continue to exhale out of your mouth. Make noise. Not only is that going to help you to further feel and express your emotions, but the exhale is going to also help you stay grounded. Let's take 2 more nice deep breaths. after that second round, go ahead, return to a more natural rhythm of breath. And assess how you feel right now. Observe what comes up for you, if anything. And then go ahead, release your hands. You can either keep your eyes open or closed. Maybe you adjust your seat, switch the cross of your legs, or shift to a different position as we start our practice. So start with just some big spinal circles. These can be really big and exaggerated, or they can be smaller. You can move fast or move slow. Notice how your body feels as you circle, as you spiral. Might even want to get your neck and your shoulders involved. Whatever you do, just keep your breath flowing. And then switch the direction of your spirals, of your circles if you haven't already. Try to really be getting into the movement of the body today. Especially into the hips. The hips kind of serve as this emotional junk drawer. Come on back to center. On your inhale, stretch both arms up overhead. As you exhale, cactus your arms, lift your heart up slightly. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, cactus, lift your heart. Inhale, arms stretch up. And then exhale, cactus. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, twist towards your left. Right hand comes to your left knee, left hand comes behind. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the right, left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. And exhale, twist right. Continue just like that to the rhythm of your own breath. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just Midwestern people, but my junk drawer at home, the real one, can get pretty crazy, can get pretty clogged, pretty unorganized. So we're going to take time on the mat today to start to organize that junk drawer. Start to move emotions, move energy through the hips so that your hips can feel more open and your emotions can feel more fluid and stable. Let's do one more each side. And then come back to center, arms stretch up. This time as you exhale, left hand comes to the earth, right arm stretches up overhead, side stretch. Inhale, back center. Exhale, right hand down, left arm stretches up and over towards the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, stretch on over. Inhale, center. And then exhale, switch. Keep going just like that. Do one more each side. And come on back to center. Pause for a moment, hand to heart, other hand beneath your belly button. So we'll come back to this same gesture a few more times throughout practice. Maybe you notice your heartbeat beneath that top palm. And go ahead, open your eyes and come onto your hands and your knees. Neutral tabletop, knees are right beneath your hips, wrists are right beneath your shoulders. On your inhale, you'll drop your belly, lift your tailbone, heart slightly, gaze goes forward for cow. Then as you exhale, you'll round through your shoulders, drop your tailbone for cat. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. Inhale, cow pose. Broaden through your collarbones. And exhale, cat. Keep moving just like that. And after your next round of cat, come on back to neutral. Bring your knees a bit wider than the hips. You can keep your toes untucked or tuck them under. And start to make some nice big circles. Yeah, just heard a big crack there. That's gonna happen. Circle in one direction to start. Again, just like these spinal circles, these circles can be as big or as small as you would like. Starting to work through the hips. And if you feel any points of stickiness, tension, feel free to pause. You can use the movement of your body to help to release through that. Keep the breath moving. And go ahead, switch, rotate opposite direction. Ooh, yep. You might notice that rotating in one direction was easier or a little bit more fluid, and maybe the other direction is not so much. Definitely feeling that myself. Little stuff like that is interesting to note. Alrighty, then come on back to center. I'll turn back to face you. You're back. You're staying in hands and knees. You'll puff up through your shoulders slightly. Tuck your toes under. Press into your hands and your toes, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. I'll turn again to the side so you can see. So, you see? Yeah. Okay, so in down dog, feet are about hips width distance. You can take a nice bend in your knees and really push through your hands. So here it's like I'm not really activating. You can push through your hands to make this a little bit more active, a little bit more intentional. You can sway from side to side. Maybe lift a heel, straighten the other, lower the other. And then we're going to take a flow here. So you have two options. You can either come back down to your knees. As you inhale, come into this kneeling plank. And then as you exhale, you can come to child's pose. This is option one. Inhale, come to kneeling plank. Exhale, child's pose. Or, if you're feeling up for it, from down dog, you might need to wiggle the heels back slightly, the feet back. So you inhale, you can come forward to plank. And then exhale, bend your knees, send your hips up for down dog. Those two options are available. Find which one works best for you and allow your body to move. So all these movements can be very intentional. They can be very slow. Honestly, the slower you move, I think the better, the more that you'll be able to feel. It's just like life. If you're moving quickly throughout life,
and not finding time to pause, which I'm very guilty of. You're not giving your body, your mind, the time and space it needs to process, to feel, to acknowledge, to recognize. It's something that it's really easy to fall into this fast-paced life. When you move slower and take time to pause, you're able to feel more. Although that can be hard, that can be scary, it's also very important. Alrighty, wherever you are, go ahead, drop your knees down. If they're not there, bring your toes together, hips towards heels for child's pose. If you're just in either of these positions, you can pick the hands up, rotate through your wrists a little bit, a couple times each direction. But come back to these sensations in your body, but then also come back to how you're feeling here. Notice if a shift has occurred. And then go ahead, slowly rise on up, either from a kneeling position or from down dog. Bring your right foot forward between your hands. So this is where the blocks or your books might come in handy. Even though I have pretty long arms, I like to be pretty high up. This can also be done on fingertips. So on your inhale, you'll be in this lunge. Now typically I kind of cue this more 90-90 lunge, but for this flow, the knee can be a bit further back. So you'll be in the lunge here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, straighten through that leg, flex your toes back for a half split. Inhale, come forward, low lunge. Exhale, shift back, half split. Inhale, come forward, low lunge. Exhale, hips back, half split. Inhale, forward. Exhale, shift back. So keep going just like that. The rhythm of your own breath. So the hips are a lot more than just this part. You have the sides of your hips, the front, the back. The hips, there's all this fascia, these tendons, these muscles that connect to other areas of your body. So a lot of times, like for instance, if your low back is feeling sore, it might be because your hips are tight. Or if you're, like we've been talking about, if maybe you're just feeling really restricted emotionally, that might be another sign that your hips might need some love. Just know that everything in your body is connected. You come back to that low lunge, and we'll switch to the other side, whatever way makes most sense. So maybe you swing the knee back, and then just bring the opposite foot forward, or you can take a moment in down dog before stepping that left foot forward. We'll set up. Same thing. You guys know where to go. Inhale for that low lunge, and then exhale for half splits. So just like everything in the body is connected in some way, we too as people are all connected. And that's something that I think a lot of people are forgetting right now. Even people you might not agree with, even people who make you angry, even the people who aren't really focused on making changes for the good, we are still all connected to those people. So by coming to your mat like you are right now, moving your body, feeling your emotions, allowing them to flow through you as you move, just by doing that, you are giving others the courage to do the same. Even if you don't say anything about it, even if you don't tell them about it. Just by showing up in your mat and cultivating something, you're causing a ripple effect on the world around you. ripple effect of good, of peace, power of feeling, whatever it may be. Just know that you all possess that power. You all have the power to make change. Alrighty, this time, if your back toes are not tucked under, go ahead, tuck them under now. Lift off your back knee, and then step on forward to the top of your mat. As you exhale, bend your knees, send your hips back, lean your chest forward towards your legs. Allow your arms, your head to hang. On your inhale, lift up halfway. Again, I'll turn to the side so you can see me. Hands come to shins. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. One more inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale as you stretch all the way up to stand, arms reach up. And then exhale, bring your hands through your heart. Pause once again, one hand to your heart, one hand right beneath your belly button. Remember, you can take an exhale through your mouth anytime. Make noise. Let whatever is coming up for you move through you. Acknowledge whatever's coming up, recognize it. And then bring both hands to your heart, interlace your fingers, place them over your chest. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lean forward, round through your shoulders, press that fist forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the arms forward, round through your shoulders. Inhale, arms lift up. And then exhale, hands back to your heart. Inhale here. Exhale, press forward, round your shoulders. Inhale, arms lift up. This time release your arms, cactus them, lift the heart. Inhale, arms up. Interlace the fingers once again, and then exhale, palms to heart. Inhale here. Exhale, arms come forward, round through your shoulders. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your heart. Inhale, arms reach back. And this time bring your hands into prayer in front of your heart. And then we'll turn to face towards the side of your mat. I'm not going to do so myself just because then you won't be able to see me, but once you get there, step your feet wide. Yes. And then turn your heels in, toes out. Bring your arms out wide like a V. So this is called a 5-pointed star. Take an inhale here. So exhale, bend your knees, cactus your arms for goddess, horse stance. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Keep going. One more. Stay here, maybe sway. You can release your arms down, maybe roll your shoulders. Another thing with the hips, with these fluid movements, it's nice to kind of get more fluid with it. Just do whatever feels good. Just take a few moments.
for more fluid movement. So if you're craving movement or you feel like you need to express some emotions, you can always go to yoga practice, or you can just turn on your favorite song and dance. Sometimes that's all we need to move it on through us, okay? Ready to step your feet back together and come back down onto your mat. Keep your knees bent, feet to the floor. Then bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. So this is butterfly. Maybe you did this in elementary school. Start to flutter your knees. You can imagine as you're fluttering your knees, you're kind of trying to think of the right word, like not stirring up the pot, but just letting things move, letting things flow. And come back to stillness. Observe, notice. Bring your hands outside of your knees, draw them back together. We'll come into pigeon pose. So come back to your hands and knees. Then take your right knee, draw towards your right wrist, and then cross your right ankle over towards the left side of your mat. Wow, you guys can't see me at all. Okay, let's try this again. Yes, we're here. Now pick up your back knee and bring it back in space. Take a look at your back leg, that left leg. Make sure that the leg is in line with the hip. And either keep your toes tucked under or untuck them. Now if you're here and you feel like you're over here or over here, maybe take a book or a block, place it under your hip just so you can keep them nice and steady. Now if this pose does not work for you, you're always welcome to take this variation instead and take more of a static, like a still variation. Okay, so for us, in this variation of pigeon, no right or wrong variation, just matters what works for your body. We're going to take some spinal undulations, some more like fluid movements with the spine. Inhale here. Exhale, bend your elbows, lean forward. Inhale, round up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, round up. Exhale, move forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, round down. Last one, inhale. And then exhale, we'll rest in sleeping variation. So sleeping variation for you might be hands to the floor. Maybe you come to your elbows or any other point that works for you. You also still have blocks if you want a little extra support. Try to release any tension in your face. Relax your jaw. Unfurrow your brow. So the hips, if you couldn't tell, they hold a lot. There's a lot going on in there. They do a lot for us too. This pose in particular used to make me cry every time I did it. It wasn't so much that I was releasing emotion, it was because my hips were so tight it almost hurt. But now it's a pose that I come to and it can be kind of a check-in point for me. You know, if this pose is really, it looks different depending on how I'm feeling. So it can help me kind of mark what's going on and kind of tap into whatever is happening. Next inhale, go ahead, lift on up. For those of you in the other variation,
You can release on out. So if you're here, you can unhook your leg. And then if you're staying in this variation, go ahead and switch to the other side. For those in this variation, you'll draw that back knee in, and then bring your right knee back to meet your left. Maybe give your hips a wiggle. And then we'll switch. So the left knee comes to the left wrist. Left ankle comes across. Same thing, bring that right leg back. Check in, looking good. Toes can be untucked or tucked. Pad up if you need to keep things a level. We'll take those same 5 spinal undulations. Inhale here. Exhale, come forward. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Oh no, I lost count. Exhale. We'll do one more for good measure. Inhale. And exhale. This time, stay down. Again, take whatever variation's most comfortable for you. Tune in with what's happening in your jaw and your face. Try to relax, release through that area. And then notice what's happening on both sides. Do they look the same? Do they feel the same? Is one side of your body loving doing this pose, the other side not? Continue to breathe. And then on your next inhale, slowly start to lift on out. Bring that back knee forward, draw your left knee back. For those of you in the other variation, release on out. We'll all meet in a seat, feet to the floor, knees bent, and then slowly roll on down. Once there, hug your knees in. Make some little circles on the low back. We'll take one last pose, happy baby. So bend your knees, feet come up, and then draw your knees out wide. Bring your hands to your feet, your ankles, your legs, and then rock from side to side. Maybe move one leg, stretch. Draw the knees back together to touch. And then when you're ready, slowly release yourself out into your final Shavasana. Press one palm to your heart, one palm beneath your belly button once again. And take a moment to thank yourself for taking this time to move your body. So allow yourself to surrender on your mat. Allow the earth to support you here as you rest.
The word emotion comes from the Latin word movere, which means to move out. It's important that when we feel something, we take time to identify it, if we can, at least just to recognize that it's there, and then allow it to move through us. You don't have extra time to hold tightly onto these emotions. Just remember that you deserve to feel whatever comes up. You deserve to give yourself that time, that space to acknowledge, to accept, to recognize, and then to let it continue on. And on those days when things feel really tough, and the world seems uninviting, or it doesn't feel like there's much hope left, or any other difficult emotion that might arise, difficult thought, I encourage you to find some way to move your body in a fluid, organic, natural way. Dance, do yoga, really anything that allows and assists these emotions to move through you. We have this tool of movement, so let's use it to our advantage. Let's take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, open your mouth, let out a sigh. Stretch your arms overhead, maybe roll through your ankles or your wrists. Then, when you're ready, you can draw both knees to your chest. And then come on to either right or left side. It's another invitation to pause if you want to take a moment to notice which nostril is receiving more airflow, either the right or left. You can turn over to that side, take a few moments to pause again. And by tuning into what nostril is receiving more airflow, it can give us a clue to how we're feeling as well. Slowly press on up when you're ready. Throughout the day, our nostrils constantly are changing, fluctuating, which nostril is dominant at the moment. So the left side typically, that's our more feminine yin side, so that means that we are feeling more calm, more yin-like. And when the right side is more dominant, that's kind of when we're feeling maybe a little bit more fired up, more yang-like. Just another way to tune in to what's happening within you. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand back beneath your belly button. Just as we did at the beginning, observe if and what has shifted. Then bring both hands together in prayer in front of your heart. Bow your chin down towards your chest. Thank you all so much for allowing me to guide you in this practice. The light in me honors and bows to the light that shines from within each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Please know that you are loved and you deserve the time and the space to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. And that I'm here to support you on your journey. Namaste.